All right, welcome to another tournament cast. Today we've got as the OKW on the left side of the map, fuhrer, and over on the right side was myself, Akula, playing as the Americans. And co-caster for this match will be Outlaw Star. How's it going, Outlaw?
It is going. How about yourself there,
Excellent.
Aquila?
Excellent. Just looking forward to re-watching this battle because it was a good one between myself and Fuhrer. And this is on Pripyat, which was removed from the rotation because, well, I'm not quite sure why. Any thoughts on this map at all, Outlaw?
Not gonna lie, I'm not too savvy with this map. Played on it a couple times. Nothing in particular that I
Very
do or
choke
don't like
pointy,
about it,
isn't it?
but yeah, yeah. Looks like
I
there's
th-
what total of three places you can cross. Four.
yeah, four places if you count, and two of those are red cover water, wide open water, which is sort of very bad area to get caught out. If the enemy puts an MG there, you can sort of get ripped to shreds. But obviously, most of the action will take place near the munitions point at the bridges and near the star. And it looks like we've got our first action as Fuhrer runs his Kubelwagen right into Akula's rifleman, and now he looks like he's going to back off.
Which is probably a good idea with that extra rifleman coming up on its flank.
Yes, he's brought up another rifle, or I have rather, and so smart retreat by Fear as he pulls back with the Kubel. And he's got nothing really up there with the Kubelwagen to support it this time. He's got some Volks on the way, and then he's got his stern piles are way far in the south, capping. I find with OKW it seems like you have to really commit your combat. Since your stern piles are really combat units, you feel like you're sort of wasting them when you're capping all over the map with them. Whereas with Americans, with the rear echelon, for example, you know they're pretty much useless in combat, so you can just have them cap all over these weird spots of the map.
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to personal preference, because flip side to that coin is Sturms can be combat ready versus echelons are, like I said, just support.
Exactly. And Akula now capping with two rifles across the bridge. Looks like probably I was anticipating some action here, which is why they were doubled up. And it looks like a single Volk squad is capping the point right out in front of Fear's base, and it looks like they've engaged each other.
Yeah, and another thing Fury is doing is he's trying to use that Kubel as some sort of a choke point, but he let his Kubel sit stagnant for a little bit too long, and now he's getting flanked.
He's going to want to get those Volks out of there as they're down to 3 men versus 9 rifles. And the Kubel just rips it out of there, escaping. And are the Volks going down? Yes, they are.
Hmm. Doesn't look like Fury's got anything cooking in the oven, so to speak. Uh, he is in somewhat of a handicap when he's got two working units that are on the map compared to three from Akula. So Akula definitely has better map control currently.
Looks like some stern piles now just charging
Oh,
right
yep.
into the rifles, which we're up. Oh, and down goes the Kubel though. But it looks like those rifles are going to have to get out of there down to 1 man. Will they escape? No, they get cut down by the Sturms. So lucky finish off there. And now it looks like the rifles are going to chase down the 3 Sturm piles, and 3 more rifles are going to try to escape, run the gauntlet, and they do.
Yeah, I want to retract the previous statement. Fuhrer was actually building MG squad and Sturm squad,
Okay.
which isn't a bad thing. MG squad being excellent at map control, because you can definitely defend a lot easier than say with a Kubel, because it gets flanked so easy.
Looks like a rifle and a Sturm both decide to hightail it out of there as Fuhrer brings the MG up to the front line. MG34. What are your thoughts on that unit? Do you find it's anywhere near as effective as the MG42, or do you think it's
No.
good for its cost at all, or do you just not like it at all?
I'll use it because, I mean, like I said, it's great for map control, but as far as MG 42 versus 34. Yeah, 42 takes it hands down. It's just faster firing, and you got a 4-man squad versus 3-man squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 210 manpower versus 240, but I mean, for 30 manpower, I'll gladly pay the extra cost for a more effective unit.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, that's 4-man squad.
Oh, on the
Oopsie.
MG34?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. They do die fast, though. I don't know whether it's just because they don't suppress as much or whether they actually have less health or armor or something, but they definitely die very quickly, I find, compared to the MG42.
Looks like Fury is moving in his lonely Sturm over here because he just built a fresh battle group headquarters.
Good call. You can reinforce
Not a
there.
bad thing.
And Akula now capping across the river rather than charging that defensive position that Fear's got setting up there. But I don't think I was aware of this defensive position at this time, so I'll probably run right into that at some point here. And capping the VP in the south. Wise decision, I would say, by Fear to put down the sandbags there to really trench in. Smoke goes off. Here comes the lieutenant. Oh, a grenade by Fear, but it's going to be a little too far. And the lieutenant's going to just start shredding these Volksgrenadiers. And looks like a grenade's going in. Very good grenade, but wow, only does a little damage. Sturms are going to rip that rifle squad if it doesn't get out of there. For some reason, he's crawling on the ground, the rifle squad, instead of retreating. And he dies.
Yeah, and I don't know what Führer's tactics going to be here because he built that battle group headquarters, but normally people go for the fast AA. So I'm interested in what he's going to do with that.
Yeah, in terms of a counter,
Exactly.
we'll see.
Early counter for all the infantry.
Looks like he's gone ahead and built the flak emplacement, which is interesting, south of the bridge. So that'll be a bit of a hard point for him. And drives off these rifles again with the stern piles. Superior firepower when you're up close, of course. Akula's got 2 fuel OPs in the north, which is good. We could take advantage of that against the OKW is always a wise decision, I think. Not to agree with myself too much. Looking back at the bases now, it looks like Fear is reinforcing a Volksgren squad and Akula is reinforcing a lieutenant and a rifleman. And they're going back to the base, maybe to pick up some weapons or something. Yes, they're going back to the weapon racks. We'll see what they get, whether it's bars or bazookas. And, oh, M1919 machine gun, the infantry company machine gun. And here comes the dreaded A half-track, as Outlaw mentioned, that we thought we might see. Just driving through the north here, over a fence.
Yeah, and Fear's not doing a bad job as far as capping points here. He's definitely making use of his Sturms. It's excellent, but he's going to have some trouble down south here soon because you've got Akula moving in with, looks like 2 infantry squads with a lieutenant.
Indeed.
2 riflemen, I should say.
And the A half-track has turned around, ready to open up here as soon as he gets near.
Now, I will say that Fear did a great job to possibly counter that future AA. He's got an AT rolling up mid, which he could take that AA out if it goes stationary.
Let's have a look. It's about to engage the stern piles, and he should be able to easily get a shot off with the anti-tank here. Yes, and he hits it, rear armor hit. The AA is going to hightail it out of there. Quick reaction to pull out, and on the south we got the rifles, as mentioned, moving in with a lieutenant, and they're going to be pretty much running rampant down there because Führer doesn't have anything. Oh, and he pulls Fallschirmjägers out of the building in the north. He's going to try and Faust that A half-track and finish it off. It might not be enough. Let's see. Gets a shot off down to... Oh, it's just hanging on. He could kill that with small arms now.
Wow. It'd be a shame if that gets away. Which looks like Kula's moving in his echelons here. Good try on Fuhrer's part.
Yes, indeed. Still firing. Looks like he's trying to get closer, but it's not enough.
Meanwhile, Fuhrer's not doing bad up north, but he is going to possibly lose the south here because he's got 3 infantry squads moving down.
There's some Volkskrans upgraded with the Panzerschreck now, trying to chase down the A half track. At the very least, looks like they'll kill off that fueled OP. And the A half track doesn't like that; it's going to engage. Even it's dangerous though because the Volkskrans are moving up. He sees them, moves forward, and suppresses. In the south, looks like a SWS supply half track is moving. Not sure what he's thinking there. He's driving right into some rifles with a M1919.
Probably trying to scout it.
I believe so.
A lot of players lately have been using supply trucks as somewhat of a armored scouting tool.
And if he's not careful, he might lose that thing though. It's down to 50% health or so.
Oh wow. And Fuhrer has his Sturms down south retreat because he tried rushing a lieutenant squad.
Indeed. And he was occupied with that. Meanwhile, his half track's going to go down. His supply half track is going down. It's down.
Wow.
Big loss.
Definitely going to cost him time on that because his next build's not going to be for, what is it, the Q's, like 120 seconds, I believe?
Yeah, I believe so.
166, there you go.
Oh, wow. So looking at Fuhrer now, he's got, as a counter to the A half track, he's got both the Ratkenwerfer and he's got a Fallschirmjäger with Panzerfaust and a Panzerschreck. So he should be set in terms of at least keeping that thing off the field.
He also has a Jagd Panzer that is in the building process. I'm really curious what he's going to do with that because we've yet to see anything besides AA as far as armor goes.
Indeed.
Akula.
And Akula's at 95 fuel right now, so still a little bit off, about 15 fuel off from if he goes for a Sherman. And now the AA is engaging again, but he's got the Pupschen set up there, and he fires on the AA half track, and it'll drive away again. So at this point, the AA should be pretty much a non-factor if Fuhrer plays his cards right, but we'll see.
Oh my, hopefully Fuhrer flips that MG around. Oh, he is. He's going to try and counter that 3 squads of infantry over by his battle group headquarters. And he's got a Jagd advancing up towards the mid.
Yes, indeed. Quite a sweeping maneuver by Akula coming up behind, but the Jagd is going to show up. Not very good anti-infantry, but it'll do the job. And looks like the Akula has just stumbled upon the flak emplacement for the first time, and he's going to retreat there. Down to 2 men on the point by the battle group headquarters, considering a retreat, and that's about 3/4. Might finish the capture. And it's about 90%, and it's captured, and he's going to retreat there, I'm sure. Going to walk away first and retreat. Right through the MG team, and 1 rifle easily gets away. Let's see if the second one will escape. Yes, unfortunately, Fuhrer got caught off moving the MG. It's going to set up in time, though, just in time to engage that 1 man. It's probably going to go down. Oh, maybe not. It's going to be close. MG got caught on a reload cycle, and he escapes. Big pressure in the north.
Yeah, Fuhrer's Jagd Panzer seems to be sitting stagnant next to the battle group headquarters, so hoping he moves it, and he does.
There he goes. And a Sherman has just hit the field, so it'll be Sherman versus Jagd. The Jagd should have somewhat of an advantage given this map, like with the long sight lines. You can sort of fire it down an alleyway, so to speak. And it looks like you're retreating the Fallschirmjägers into the AA half track, and down go the Fallschirmjägers, and here come the Volksgrenadiers now. See if he gives chase. Oh, 1 Volks down. And yes, the AA half track is going to give chase to the Volksgrenadiers. But Akula is running into the Jagd now.
Yeah. It's also got an infrared searchlight. I don't know what he's doing with that so far up front, but hopefully he's Yep, he's moving the AT up to counter anything coming to
He
him.
hit the A
Nice.
half track with the Yogg. The Yogg might finish it off unless it gets out of there, and there it goes. And the Sherman is running scared as well. That's quite the defensive point there by Fuhrer. He's got the AT, the Searchlight, the Yogg, an MG, and a Sturm.
And not to mention he's got over the majority of map control right now.
He sure does.
Doing good.
He should be capturing that VP behind him, though, if possible.
Like
Akula,
Akula's
what should
messing
Akula
around
do at
here.
this point, given the fact that I'm sort of backed into my base?
I would, if I was in Akula's shoes, do exactly what he's doing right now up north, decapping. Fuhrer, force him to move his main force in mid, splitting that apart so it's less strong, and then maybe send some of that infantry down south.
Looks like Fuhrer is going to get really aggressive with the Yogg, moving up to engage the Sherman. Thought maybe he could catch it, and the Sherman is bravely charging in. That's going to be very dangerous because there is AT there. And it gets hit with the AT, and it's probably going to just sweep around and head out of there. One shot to the rear of the Yogg. And the Yogg very cumbersome and slow. Let's see if it gets a shot. And it does, but it hits the building. Not a big fan of that tank myself, but it is pretty affordable.
Looks like Fuhrer's got Sturm Pioneer down south. It's kind of just sitting there. Hopefully, oh, he's building a flag emplacement. Nice. Okay.
Right on his field. That's an interesting decision.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want to micro that area, so he's going to be a little bit.
And here comes a
smart about
blob
building
as
a
well,
flag.
right into that area. So a good call by
Yep.
Fuhrer. And the AA is heading south as well. Akula is aware that he has all that anti-tank in the north, so the AA is going to be useless up there. I think this Searchlight is doing pretty well for him because he seems to be spotting out the Sherman and spotting out the AA half track. He's trying to see what's going on to the south, but I think he's a little late on that, as Akula's units have already escaped to the south.
Looks like Fuhrer's lacking anything besides battle group headquarters currently. So late game, he is going to be at disadvantage if he doesn't start building something else.
Indeed. Akula's running into that A, and instead of a retreat, he's just going to pull back. And here my thought was I would send the AA half track in to see if it could damage the AA, as I've never really seen those two go up against each other, and you'll see what happens. Opens fire and does a little tiny bit of damage, and with that I decide to screw that and get the hell out of there.
Good choice.
Didn't do anything
Good
at all,
choice.
so I won't be doing that in the future. And in the north, the Ratkenwerfer is capping right out in front of Akula's base. He's got a big advantage with this AA Searchlight, or rather Searchlight. Over on the left, grenades going off on Akula's units. Another grenade, 2 grenades, and he'll probably throw a grenade and retreat. And looks like the Volks retreat as well. The Sherman is engaging the Ratkenwerfer. The Ratkenwerfer sets up and tries to... Oh, now the Sherman backing up into the Ratkenwerfer. Gets a shot off. The Yogg gets a shot off, and that Sherman is in deep trouble, backing up as fast as it possibly can. Takes a shot. Ratkenwerfer lining up a shot, bounces off or misses. And the Sherman escapes.
Meanwhile, Fuhrer's over here. He's advancing his Yogg because he just can't let that go.
He smells
He
blood.
can't go any farther.
And
Oh, is he moving? He's advancing. He's going in for the kill.
here we go. The Sherman is, he's out of the Sherman right now. Let's see what the Yogg does. He'll have to, oh, he gets in the Sherman, and the shot gets off. Down goes the Sherman. Indeed. And the Yogg is going to probably start firing away at the base now because there's nothing in terms of counter for that Yogg. Except the bazooka. They picked up a bazooka. One shot goes off, penetrates the front armor. You can't stick around forever against these units. Meanwhile, back at the battle group headquarters, Akula's got 3 units on top of him. So he's going to have to micro both sides, Fuhrer will, because he's got M1919s right on top of the battle group.
Yeah, at that point I would have taken off of the established retreat point. Yeah, and he's doing exactly what he should have done a little bit longer ago. He lost his Sturm squad in the process, but it's like he salvaged Volks Grenadier squad there.
And the Yogg gets the hell out of there as bazookas were starting to wear it down. And the bazooka squads, the two rifles, are going to charge forward after the Ratkenwerfer. And they smell blood on that Yogg. The Yogg is down to half health now. Let's see if he can finish this AT off, because a fresh Sherman is out now. And it's going to retreat, so a big chance for a Sherman to move up now.
Oh, wow. That's 2 Sturm squads lost in less than a minute.
Yep, there goes the Sturm. Let's see what he does with this Yogg now.
Oh, wow. Sherman is advancing on Akula's side right here. Doesn't have that AT to stop that advance besides that Yogg, which is slow.
Indeed, if he can get around that. Looks like it's targeting the searchlight. Down goes the searchlight. And now he's up behind the Yogg. The Yogg's going to try and run across the bridge. Some rifles running into MG fire. And they retreat. And this Yogg is in deep trouble.
Hits the mine that Fuhrer had laid place.
Indeed.
Let's see if this
Destroyed engine. Can the flak finish the Sherman off? One more shot. And he got it. That tank's not likely to get out of there, though. Faust coming in.
No, not at all.
Main gun destroyed. And down goes the Sherman.
Eye for an eye, Akula.
Indeed. The Yogg was downed, and as was the Sherman. Now Akula's bringing out some 50 cal machine gun teams and capturing the middle all the way from, he came all the way from the battle group headquarters back around to the middle point. And Fuhrer has got some Fallschirmjägers recapping that point.
Overall, Fuhrer's not doing a bad job at all, besides that muni point that he keeps getting decapped by Akula, but overall he's got, wow, close to 70% of the map.
Indeed. This is looking good for Fuhrer in terms of map control, but it looks like three squads are heading to the north for Akula, and all he's got up there is a Volks squad.
Yeah, I expect to see Fuhrer push back quite a bit here.
Let's see what happens now. Some M1919 riflemen moving in against some Fallschirmjägers and some Volks. And it's going to be a good battle. Grenade coming in. They try to dodge, but they're going to have to retreat. And the 4-man squad backs off a little bit. They're going to take advantage of those sandbags, but it's real tough against those Fallschirmjägers. Looks like the 50 cal is going to do a lot of work. And meanwhile, in the north, there's some Volksgrens going up against some riflemen.
Looks like Fuhrer's got another
Grenade.
Yogg advancing towards the mid here. Hopefully he can get a little bit better coverage, that way he doesn't have to sacrifice it so easily.
Akula drops the bazooka, then picks it up and retreats in the north, as that Volk squad did a hell of a good job. Only lost one man against a full LMG toting rifle squad. Now some bazookas moving up in the around the VP. Map control slowly starting to fade in terms of Fuhrer now. And looks like this triple vet lieutenant squad is just going to shred these Volks in the north. Down they go. So looking at the units, Akula has 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 units on the field, and Fuhrer has 8. So fairly close, except Fuhrer has 3 of those are AT guns. 2 of those are flak emplacements. And let's just pause here at the 24-minute mark.
Okie dokie.
And you can just give an analysis of the game so far, what your thoughts are, and what can be done from either side right now to win the game.
Well, Fuhrer is, seems like he's starting to turtle up here, because, I mean, with the Yogg, it's not necessarily an advancing tank. I mean, you have to have a lot of support with that. And then, down south, he's starting to lose map control due to that AA, so, I mean, if he could maybe roll out an AT down south with supporting infantry, which he has, that would do excellent. But that Yogg right there, sitting by itself, is not a good idea. It looks like he's about to advance some infantry on it, though, which is good. But in terms of map control, it definitely looks like Akula is going to start sweeping him from up underneath his feet. He's definitely got more infantry to start capping points.
Indeed. So, if you're Akula now, what do you think needs to be done to seal the deal and win this game?
Um, Cool is doing pretty much a good job what he's doing currently. I mean, an AT mid would help seal mid because he's got plenty of infantry there and plenty of supporting weapons. The MGs will do an excellent job of suppressing. Maybe some infantry down south to help decap Fuhrer with that AA as a supporting gun. Maybe a vet squad that would
Yep.
maybe, yeah, pop off a rifle nade if it comes to armor. But besides that, Sherman would help seal the deal, in my opinion.
And what can Fear do now at this point if he, since he's got the Yogg, do you think he can use that to his advantage and somehow sort of extend past this victory point?
He can, but he can't have it out in the front like that because, I mean, he's got a bazooka squad advanced arm currently, and they're both vetted, so if he gets rifle netted and loses that, that's a huge chunk of manpower and fuel, which he doesn't have the luxury to be dabbling with right now. So, I mean, if he sets up that MG, keeps that AT stationary, moves the Yogg back a little, and maybe moves in an extra Fallschirmjäger with that current Fallschirmjäger, I think that he could advance just fine with,
right.
you know, the Yogg taking pot shots at the MG.
All right, so we're at the 24-minute mark. I'm going to count down from 3, and we'll hit play again. So 3, 2, 1, play. And looks like the Yogg is taking shots at the 50 cal, but the bazookas have arrived unseen. They both bounce off, so he smartly retreats. And he sets up the MG team. In the south, the AA is just hammering away at these Volksgrenadiers, but the Volks get a shot in. And the AA might, is he going to decide to stay or will he pull back? Let's see here. He's going to back up. Yes, he will fast.
Yep.
And there goes the AA. In the north, nothing happening other than capturing of the fuel. Now the AA has suppression, so it's tough for these Volks. And the Volks are going to try and move up and fire a Shrek, but they're in negative cover.
And wow, the AA looks like it's getting away.
Yes, indeed.
Tough hand for Fear there, but he can continue to decap what Akula has.
And in the south, or in the north, he's charging forward with the Yogg. Another bazooka shot bounces off, and those two rifles with bazookas retreat. So here's a big chance for Fear to go ahead and capture that BP now. That 50 cal, if he could, he'd run him right over, but he can't. Kula can.
Fear hopefully starts to decap here, and he does, going for the mid BP.
Indeed. Kula can leisurely retreat with these MGs because the Yogg is so terrible against infantry. You don't have to worry too much.
Looks like Fear starting to decap south. Excelente, and he's advancing his MG to help block down the area a little bit more mid.
Here comes a triple vet lieutenant from the north. Let's see what he can do. He's outnumbered, but he's got that veterancy, so we'll see what he can do. Just shredding the MG team. Throws a grenade in, but the Fallschirmjägers are going to shred him down to 2 men. 1 man. Let's see if he can get out of there. And bazookas arrive on the scene, just hammering the Yogg. And there goes the Fallschirmjägers and the MG team, and the bazookas are just going to creep forward on this Yogg. Not much he can do against bazookas. Another bazooka hits him. This is one case where bazookas are good.
Sir, definitely wise on Fear's part to set that MG up right now while he's reinforcing, because that advancing unit is going to start doing some damage here.
Yes, indeed.
And he does. He's setting up the MG while he's reinforcing. Excellent.
The Yogg is almost going to go down unless he pulls out of there. It's down. Needs about 1 or 2 volleys of bazooka fire. Another bazooka hits. And those rifles are probably going to have to get out of there as the MG and the Falls move in. Meanwhile, in the south, the AA half-track has been fully repaired and is just ripping up these guys again. Even though they've got AT, it's not enough to stop the AA half-track.
Yeah, that was not a good idea on Fear's part, advancing the AA while he was in negative cover across such a large
Yep, we mentioned that early game, that's a dangerous area, and unfortunately he didn't heed that warning.
Not at all.
Another MG moving in for Akula to mid. See if he can cut down this Volks.
looks like Kula just shredded his last remaining Volksgren squad and his Fallschirmjägers.
Yes, indeed. Not good there.
Oh my
And
god, Führer's advancing his Jagen for a kill on that AA with less than maybe 15% of health. Oh, and Sherman's advancing.
yes, indeed. This is going to be an interesting battle. He's got the AA gun moving up right into an MG, though. Foolish
No.
play there by Fear.
Negative cover, lost the AA, or AT.
Yes, indeed.
Jeez.
And the AA is just firing away at these Fallschirmjägers now. Sherman versus Jagd. Down goes the Jagd.
Yep, Yawk took a shell to the face.
And that Fallschirmjäger is going to go down too by the looks of it. Sherman smelt blood and took him out. Down goes the Fallschirm.
Fear currently only has 2 ground units, an infrared searchlight, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yes, because Akula's got 7 offensive ground units as well as 2 pieces of armor, or 1 building.
I've mentioned
So
2 fuel OPs to boot.
that was a decisive battle. Yeah, the fuel OPs, Fear did a good job taking those out earlier in the game, but Akula rebuilt them. So you can see how quickly the battle can swing there. It looked like Fear was, pretty much even, maybe a little bit behind, but one decisive battle and he just got crushed by the AA and the Sherman, not to mention the 50 cal.
That squad, those 2 squads of infantry that he sent down south to cross that major body of water about 5 minutes ago was a huge factor because they both got squad wiped. So I mean that's something he couldn't afford to do.
And then he had another squad wipe just north of the VP as well. The AA took him out and he surrenders. So an interesting game. It was a good battle up until that decisive crushing blow that occurred. But any thoughts overall on that game? What could have gone differently?
It looked like Fear had great map control the majority of the game. His lines were spread pretty thin, I would say. He had great, focus in the middle, but north and south he didn't have much to support. So I mean, Akula definitely capitalized on that and pretty much crushed him.
Yeah, I mean he did a good job with those flak emplacements. I thought those were quite pesky, preventing Akula from getting into those areas of the map. But I mean they can only do so much. So once you avoid those, it's just a matter of capping up the rest of the map. And that's basically what I did. And then basically just came down to that big push by Führer across the water where he lost the 2 units and then he lost the Jagd and a Fallschirmjäger at once. So he lost basically 4 units within a matter of probably 15 seconds. So that was pretty much game there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any final comments, Outlaw?
Nope. That is the pendulum of war right there.
That's right. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and we will be back with a couple more games here in round 1. Outlaw versus Soapy, and we've got War Doc versus Specs Ranger, and then we'll be on to round number 2. So thanks for tuning in again, and we'll talk to you later.